Joining me now to give his assessment on the events unfolding in Ukraine is the Executive Vice President here at the Family Research Council, retired Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, who spent the last 4 of his 36 years in the Army serving as the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. He was also one of the original members of the U.S. Army's Delta Force. General, thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Good to be with you.
Now, General, I had seen some videos that were not circulated that were sent by some not U.S. forces, but other forces that were embedded there in Ukraine. And what I saw was that Ukrainians were putting a lot of hurt on the Russian forces. Is Vladimir Putin, did he bite off more than he could chew moving into Ukraine?
Well, it certainly has not gone the way that he expected. As George just said, he thought in a day or two that he'd have the capital and frankly, other population centers as well. And that hasn't happened. But what people need to understand is that the Ukrainians have had one enemy since they became a sovereign nation. I think it was 91. They've had one enemy, and that was Russia. They've had plenty of time to prepare for it. They knew that ultimately this could happen, and they have done great preparation. But the other thing is the equalizer on the battlefield is 2 things. It is unity or unit cohesion and a purpose. The Ukrainians have both. The Russians, it is very questionable because they've got a conscript military. They have a lot of young men out there that are not unlike American men, and they have never been tested. This is their first combat. Remember that this is an army that, other than a minor incursion into Chechnya, the last combat they saw, which was really not on this scale, was in '89 when they pulled out of Afghanistan. And this is a military that has, I think, is totally incapable of doing what Putin called on them to do with a very complex operation. So, yeah, I think he bit off more than he can chew. And if you look at those pictures of his 2 generals there in the meeting with him, and you look at their faces, you have to understand that this is a bad time, and it makes Putin even more dangerous.
Yeah, that was my question for you. He has made reference to he's actually put his nuclear forces on alert. Is a frustrated Putin a dangerous Putin to the rest of the world?
I don't think there's any question about that. And I mean, there's more and more coming out on his state of mind, on his cognitive skills and so forth. And you talking about danger. If a man like this gets trapped in the population centers in urban warfare, he is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, that's my sense as well. General Jerry Boykin, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Good to talk with you.